Check out this video if you want to see my morning routine while in isolation. Find out how you can use this time to create healthy habits and focus on self-awareness and personal development. Hey guys, I'm Amanda, past life regression facilitator and spiritual coach, working with women to work through their blocks and live their soul purpose. Okay, so let's talk about my morning routine while in isolation. And I really wanted to make this video because it is so easy to become a bump on a log and fall into these really unhealthy negative patterns. So hopefully by sharing my routine, you'll feel inspired to incorporate some healthier habits into your day. Okay, so let's start right at the beginning. My alarm goes off just after 6 o'clock every single day. Since I don't need to commute into the office, this is a perfect time for me to have enough time to get myself prepared for my day and not feel too rushed. Getting up earlier in the morning before anyone else wakes up, I find is the perfect time for me to actually get anything done. If I wait until the end of the day or just before bed, I find by the time I get there, I'm already just too frazzled. So this is something that works better for me, is to do this routine in the morning. Once I get out of bed, the first stop is the kettle. It is time to make my tea, and it is safer for everybody if nobody talks to me until I have at least taken one sip. The next stop is to my living room, where I start my journaling process. This is probably my favorite part of the day, to be able to journal and drink some tea. And I get to look out to nature and a pond. So there's tons of birds. I see animals. It's very relaxing to me. But because it's a common area, I have to tweak it a little bit to make it more of like a sacred space for me. For me, that's honestly as simple as bringing my tea with me and lighting a candle. So once I've lit my candle, I start journaling, and this is probably the best thing I can do every single day. It gets me out of my head, it reduces my anxiety, I can mentally prepare myself for what's to come. When I'm journaling, I personally follow my own little, I don't want to say script because it's not a script, my own little process, I guess. So I always start with whatever it is that's on my mind in that moment, which could be something I'm looking forward to that day, or something that I'm dreading that day, or maybe a dream that I woke up remembering, or just tuning into myself and really feeling how I'm doing overall and checking in with myself, because it gets the pen moving and it gets me out of my head and start tuning into my body and what it is that I need, whether it's a physical, mental, emotional, energetic level. If you aren't sure where to start, but you do want to incorporate journaling, then be sure to check out my video, which I think is here, on how to get started with journaling. I will also leave in the description bar down below a link for you to grab your free PDF of journaling prompts to help get you started. Once I'm finished my little, I'll call it the first chapter of my journaling, I move on to the second stage, which is setting an intention. And I find it very, very helpful. And I don't think about it. That's the best part. Once I'm writing, okay, so I'm a little bit of a keener. I am that kid from elementary school who would write out the date and bring out the red pen and the ruler and underline it and make it all pretty. So I have to have little chunks and sections, and I have to write something out when I'm starting a new chapter or section and underline it. So when I'm writing out my intention for today is, and I'm underlining it, I don't even need to think about what the rest of that sentence is, because it's just coming up for me just like that. So the less thinking I need to do, the better. And because I've already taken that time to tune into myself and figure out what it is that I need, my senses, I guess, are already awake. My body is already talking to myself. All I need to do is trust my hand to move the pen when it hears my inner voice. Some examples of an intention for your day could be as simple as tuning in consistently to your energy levels, to listening to your body, to trusting your intuition, to allowing yourself to focus on self-care today without the extra guilt or judgment. It literally can be anything. So once I finish my intention, I move on to talking to my angels. In a perfect world, I would have plenty of time to do automatic writing. If you don't know what automatic writing is, it is essentially a way to very easily speak to your angels and spirit guides. I have a video on it up here, I think, again, if you want to check that out. I like to really take my time with automatic writing, and sometimes depending on how I'm feeling in the morning, I already have a lot that I've written down before I get to my intention. The last thing I want during this relaxing journaling time is to be constantly checking my watch. Usually during the week, I don't do a lot of automatic writing. I usually try and save that for the weekend, or if maybe I ended up waking up before my alarm, which, let's face it, does not happen very often. Since I'm trying to stick to a schedule, the easiest way for me to talk to my angels in the morning while I'm journaling is to pull a card. This usually is as simple as, what is it that I need to know today, or what messages do you have for me? 9 times out of 10, it is absolutely related to something that I've already said is bothering me or something that I want to work on. The other 1% is almost like, I don't want to say a warning, something to be aware of that is going to happen later on in the day. I personally, when I pull the card, I end up summarizing in the journal what it is the card is meaning for me, because I have a terrible memory, and I really do. So when I write things down, I am much more likely to remember. Writing things down just makes my life easier, so that's what I do. Moving on to the next stage, we are still on journaling. Yes, I spend a lot of time journaling in the morning. The next stage after I pull a card is gratitude. I fill up that entire page of things that I'm grateful for. Little, big, or things that happened yesterday, things that are going to happen today. It doesn't matter. Once I'm finished my gratitude section, I move on to an I am statement. I actually break this down into 2 sections. Think of future you, like 10 years from now. What is future you so happy about, and what does future you's life look like? So when I'm doing my I am statements, I have my I am statements for my 10 years from now, Amanda. But I'm going to be honest, most times it's completely fine, but some days, especially if I'm feeling extra blah, sometimes feel unattainable, and it makes me feel a little extra ick. So I end up doing a second I am section, which is for future, but not so far in the future, Amanda. What does Amanda want, or what is she grateful for or have in her life 6 months to a year from now that she is working towards right now? And I just realized I'm changing the way I'm saying things to talk about myself in third person, and that's a little weird. Obviously, if you do I am statements, you don't need to be a weirdo like me and break it down into sections. But I do find that the I am statements are really great for kind of boosting my energy and keeping me focused on my end goal. Because when we're thinking about where it is that we want to be, we're less distracted about the noise that's all around us right now, and it helps us almost like focus and hone in on what do we need to do today to make us feel like we are one step closer to that 10-year from now version of ourselves. So by this time, my tea is either gone or it's just cold, because I was so focused on journaling that I didn't even end up drinking it. So this is where I end up going to drink my water. I don't need to tell you how important it is to stay hydrated. I don't think I do anyway, but it also helps you to avoid those little dips of energy. Then I head over to make a quick breakfast. Depends on what my day is, depends on what I have in stock. It could be I make myself bacon and eggs, or I have bagel, or I have some yogurt with fruit. I try to get it to be balanced and healthy in some way, shape, or form, but it's not always realistic, so don't judge me. I take my vitamins, and vitamins are taken with food. My vitamins are taken with food. Something that helps me stay on track and remember to take my vitamins every day is to put it in my phone. I would put it in the calendar of my phone so that it would pop up every day at the same time. Now what I'm doing, as well as my calendar, just because honestly I'm too lazy to go in there and delete it, I'm using an app called Fabulous. Fabulous is an app that helps you create healthy habits throughout your day. I've been relying on the Fabulous app because it's been supporting me in staying in a healthy routine. I personally really rely on that little extra trigger because it's very easy for me to get caught up in my day, and before I know it, I haven't eaten, I haven't taken my vitamins, I don't remember the last time I had water. Once I'm finished eating and taking my vitamins, I pull up my phone and I start listening to an audiobook. The length of time that I'm listening to the ebook really does vary depending on what I have in store for me during the day. If I have a lot of early morning meetings, then I'm obviously not going to be listening to my audiobook for the next 4 hours, but at the very, very minimum, I try to listen to it for at least 30 minutes every single morning. I personally have found this to be very helpful and have noticed a slight shift because I have that trigger to focus on something that I enjoy. It's almost like I'm happier throughout the day because of it. So it really is true when they say to surround yourself with things and people that you love and enjoy, because it really does, in my experience, affect your energy levels. For the most part, this entire routine helps me keep my stress and my anxiety in check. So if stress and anxiety is something that you are struggling with as well, then be sure to click on the video on your screen right now, which will bring you to my previous video of how to manage anxiety while in isolation.